Hey everyone, Eljay here, voice actor for the critically acclaimed pop culture phenomenon character Little Johnny. Do you enjoy our content? I enjoy our content, but I also enjoy being able to continue making it and making it better. So if you would like to support us, head on over to vessel.com/the TTV channel for all of our content a week early if you sign up for early access. And heck, even if you don't want to do that, the content is still free. It will come out in just a week and you can still watch it as though you're watching a normal YouTube video. The difference being, it supports us and supports Vessel, which is a great platform. So go ahead, head on over to vessel.com/the TTV channel and get your free trial today. And don't forget to complain in the comments about how much you hate Little Johnny in my voice. I haven't heard it yet, so please, keep doing it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sync.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 210 of the TTV podcast.
Mardi Gras.
That's sort of a milestone, but not really.
It's kind of, it's a cool number.
Not really.
Yeah, that's what more I was getting at.
I guess it's
that
like
number.
our
210?
podcast is old enough to like drink
Drink 10 times as much.
10.
If it was an entity at all, then yeah, I guess.
Well-
in terms of episodes.
And if every year is a week, I guess.
Our podcast is 210 years old. It would be dead.
Yeah.
You don't know the lifespan of podcasts.
We
Yeah.
would be
Podcast
dead,
entity.
maybe, but not the podcast. The podcast will
podcast
carry on without us. Even after TTV has been canceled for the second
Energized
time, the
podcast
fans
entity.
will carry that. But wait, I'm getting things mixed up here.
Nah, if it were a human, it would be dead.
Well, it's
Alright.
not human, though.
But it's not a human, it's a podcast.
Yeah.
If the
I mean,
TTV podcast
I mean,
or
if it was a
human-
ficus, it would need watering. What's your point, LJ?
If the TTV podcast was a person, what would its name be?
If it was a car, it would need peeling.
It would have several
Okay,
names.
so TTV would have to
first
be
of
its
which
No,
is-
initials.
no,
So
Bar,
its
we
name-
don't
the
do religious
first of- the
discussions.
The first name would be
Would be.
Tyrone. Middle name
Tyrone Terrence
No.
McCary.
The first name would be
hold on.
Messenac.
Yeah, middle name. What was it?
Really?
Terrence.
Let the
Terrence,
transition
Terrence.
happen.
Middle
Let
name
the transition
Terrence.
happen.
That wasn't a transition.
Last
that was
name-
you being stupid and
Last
trying to shoehorn the
name-
introduction.
I'm trying to get our name order out
It
of
was
the way.
shoehorned
That's
in.
what
It
I'm
wasn't a
trying to
natural
do.
progression at all.
Victor.
It was
Get outta
a
here.
natural
Don't-
position.
Tyler Terrence
Don't
Victor.
act like you actually did some
That would be
clever
the
job
full name.
transitioning into it.
Meso was doing it. I was trying to get it on
Hey
track.
guys, stop
Meso was
being
like,
rude.
oh,
Like
what
I've
name
been
would it
trying
be?
to talk
I
for
just
like the
want to
past
know
minute, and you guys
care.
are just
It's
talking
du- it's
right over me.
stupid.
Like, come on.
What are you talking about?
if the
Guys, we're supposed to be professionals at this point. This is episode
So
210.
let's
We were
see.
never
if
professionals.
TTV, if the TTV podcast was a person, its initials would be Terrence. No.
Well, the
dang
initials
it.
would
I already
be TTV. We already know that.
It would be Tyler Terrence Victor.
Okay.
Did it really take you that much thought to get that such of
Well,
a
yeah,
crappy
with
name?
so many
Come on,
people
man.
talking
Or you just
over
kept
each
getting
other,
hyped.
you know, it's kind of
just wanna
distracting.
know, if it was a car, which color would the car be, Var? Let's
It didn't
Yellow.
necessarily
It'd be
take so
blue.
long to
Like a
think
baby
of
blue.
it.
All right,
Banana
let's
yellow.
move on. Let's move on. We got it.
Banana yellow.
Banana.
This
That's a
is
reference.
this is not going to be a good episode.
We're gonna die.
It's only because you're in it freaking mumbling about nonsense when we're trying to actually do the introduction. Freaking moron, get out of here.
You're just arguing about the introduction.
And what were you talking about for the
What
last
is
2
this
minutes?
episode?
The introduction.
Nothing, because you were talking. Meso.
All right. So, hi guys.
This is a
how's
dumb
it going?
episode.
I'm Messina.
I'm Verderin.
I'm LJ.
I'm John.
I'm Ven.
I'm Takuma Nuva.
I'm the XX Trooper.
And once again, episode 210 of the TTV podcast. Let's
Mardi
do this
Gras.
thing.
Man, okay, so two things right out the gate are quite apparent. We have a lot of people, and we don't have Viper or Purple.
Yeah.
I want to
Did we
leave
need
already.
those
It's
people?
a
Viper was going to be
testosterone
here,
filled.
but she narrowly
So
missed
nobody's
out
gonna
due
watch
to
this
scheduling
episode.
issues. So rip.
I can be the girl. Is that what we're getting at? Like, what's? Why do we
Actually,
need
can be anything
Viper
you want to be.
and purple?
Yeah, no, I'm with X here. He can be the girl for us.
Yeah,
I had
okay.
long hair for quite a long while. I mean,
That is true. That is
Yeah.
very true.
You're
I'm-
right. That's obviously the number
All it
one
takes.
quality of girls. It's just they have
Dead
long
hair.
hair.
and it was
And as
pretty.
you have long
it was,
hair,
it
you
was
can.
pretty.
That must
long
mean
hair.
Purple's not a girl then.
No,
Rip.
that was just something to add, you know. I don't. Some girls have like long hair. And
No.
some girls...
Here's the criteria,
understand.
right?
Well, I had short hair for a
If
while.
you're a dude,
girls have long
you have
hair,
short
other
hair.
girls
If you
demand
don't
to
have
see
short
men
hair,
short.
you're not a dude.
I don't think that's accurate because I know some people who are bald and they're still
Trooper,
people.
since when has TTV been known for accuracy?
Quite frequently, actually.
Not since you joined.
Don't do this, Takuma.
What does that even mean?
Ambulance, burn victims, get in there. What up?
Anyway, as per usual, this
Learn
podcast is
their-
brought
Get in here.
to you by our sponsors at vessel.com/the TTV channel and Audible at audibletrial.com/TTV. We'll be talking about them later on during the show.
What a way to start talking about the sponsors after that incomprehensible mess.
Yeah, I know, right?
So,
Anyway.
Yeah, I
How's it
wonder
been,
whose
guys?
fault that was.
It's been a while since you've been on a podcast, X. How have you been?
I have been tired because there's a lot of things happening, but now there's not that much happening, so it's alright because then I can do things I want to do instead of things I don't want to do, you know? So it's
I
get
I know
you.
exactly what you mean.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you don't want to miss
No,
things, but you kind of don't want to go either. So it's
I
like,
can relate to you on another level.
It's nice to see you again, eh?
Speaking
I
of
like
things we
being
don't want to
here.
do,
Yes.
we'll get to that later.
Oh my
So-
god.
Why?
Because he
We
doesn't
gotta-
want to do it.
We've got a couple things to talk about today. We've got a few to front load the podcast with that may or may not take forever. I think we should go ahead and get them out of the way. I think first of all, at the very start, to people who actually want to hear it can listen to it. Vin, do
Hello.
you have an announcement of some kind, or not even some big announcement? Do you just have something you want to say about
All right.
stuff?
Well,
Oh my gosh, you're
if I'm
getting
really
married.
going to do this right now, it'll be fairly brief so we can just move on with other things. Mock Spotlight will be
Cancelled like the other thing you did.
actually
eBay
revised.
today.
From now, sometime soon, I will start reviewing system mocks. So
Hey.
just so we can kind of get out of the Bionicle niche in that area as well. I know a lot of people like to mock with systems, so it's like, hey, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start mocking with system myself, get myself familiar with it again, and then start looking up some stuff and probably look into revising the boards a little bit so that it's a little bit more system friendly. But that's something I got to talk with you guys about a little later.
That's cool, man. I'm be down for this. Watching your mock spotlight maybe helping me learn how to be a better system mockist.
Yeah,
I
that's
could use
really
that.
cool. Unfortunately, all anyone heard was "get out of Bionicle."
Yeah,
So
get
now
out of
we're
the
gonna have a
Bionicle
lot of
niche,
angry
traitors.
Obviously, I'm
stopping
still
reviewing
gonna.
Bionicle
Yeah,
mocks, right?
of course not. Of course not. That's like the
Okay,
forte. But I also want to be open to system. I want to be open to like basically any kind of Lego mock. Now,
Would you consider reviewing trains?
yeah.
what?
if it's a really cool
okay.
train. Yeah.
System
Well,
sounds
cool,
cool. I should also start mocking with that stuff, you know? That sounds pretty neato, you know?
Well,
'Cause
cool,
I'm like-
man. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. There you have it.
It makes logical sense going forward. We don't need to exclude anything.
We should
Oh,
do,
yeah,
mech,
and
we
then-
should do
and then-
mech of the week or some
And then I'm gonna.
Make the-
And then in about a year, I'm gonna cancel it.
And there it is.
No,
I
I'm just
think-
kidding.
I think at this point, the audience that we have following the podcast are used to cancellations.
Dang.
Ouch.
Or just disappointment
Damn.
in general.
Something. Or everything.
I feel like
Oh, yeah.
Enchantress, and Amanda Waller's just like stabbing my heart again and again and again and again.
While we're on the subject,
Why,
RPG
liars?
is dead.
Yes, Takuma.
Just RPG is dead.
Why is this? Takuma?
What happened to your rocket-propelled
Because-
grenade?
It's being rebuilt into something else, Trooper. Something far more glorious.
You
A
wound
grenade
me
launcher
dearly.
instead?
Unlike things like Biocraft, which are just like dead, I'm at least going to
They're not dead.
I'm at least going to pull the corpse
Kind
apart
of.
and put it back
Kind
into
of
something
is.
better.
Will that something better benefit our channel in any way?
Yes.
I mean, we're used to, like,
Okay.
building things, I guess.
Like the
Hey.
Matt knew.
Hey.
I am making a show mock.
Speaking of the island of Motunui,
Weren't we supposed
Yeah,
to do
Christian
that? in the summer?
Faber!
No,
Announcement of your
mention-
own, don't you, Meso?
So we have like one bit of Bionicle news that's
Oh.
cool to mention.
Or not.
Christian Faber has posted another big concept art video called Sketches from Turaga Beach, tribute to the fans, and it's just kind of his way to like memorialize and send Bionicle off once and for all, even though it is just a bunch of G1 concept art, because obviously he wasn't involved in G2.
So,
But
I'm not gonna lie. Christian Faber's a pretty cool guy. I'm glad he released this video. I have not watched it
yeah,
because
Wow.
I tried to watch it, and it was just a bunch of concept art I'd seen before in grayscale with cryo.
there is quite a lot of concept art that we have already seen before.
There's
but
not a lot of new content in the video.
there
so.
are a few cool things that I haven't seen before, but I couldn't verify if they were brand new or not, because he's posted a lot of stuff over the years.
See, this is
But it
cool
was
for me
nice.
because I don't think I've really seen much of a Faber's concept art in the past.
Yeah, there was like some new images of Tahu with the Vahi from Classic Bionicle. There was one of the Avoki underwater in Mari
underwater.
Nui instead of the Ignika.
Ooh,
There's some
that
Bar
sounds
Magna
interesting.
concept art.
So
Yeah,
this
the
is,
interesting thing to me is that like he put a weird old timey filter over everything. I'm not sure is that just to protect the copyright
I don't
or
know.
something, or
I
was
don't
that
know,
just
because
like
I think that was just for the video.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
he's
I think it's
trying
just
to
for the
get
a
video
lot of
because
this
of
has
effect.
been released.
Yeah.
A lot of this is on his blog in color.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, why did it all have to be black and white? Why couldn't it
I
be
would
just-
like to hope that at some point he's still going to follow through with releasing all of the concept art
the
in
Turaga Files.
crisp color on the Turaga Files, but I believe that project got put on hold
Turaga
to do a
Files?
museum of some sort. Yeah, the Turaga Files was Faber's mission where he basically went through all his old concept art and all his old stuff from the Advance office and was gonna like dole it out to people online.
Oh
So
wow.
like give it away to people in, like,
so like a
contests and
special
stuff.
episode of X Files.
Yeah, did he ever do that like giveaway? Like,
No.
wasn't he going to give away that
He,
big
he
box
was
of
going
stuff?
to give away the stuff, and then he was like, "I've been approached, or I'm looking into this museum-esque thing where I would put the stuff instead." I don't think we ever heard another update from him about that.
yeah,
Oh,
because
wow.
he's been doing a lot of stuff with what's it called? Rebel
Nature. The only thing
Rebel
that's brought him
Nature.
back into the Bionicle space has been its untimely second
Is that
cancellation.
that's not Lego related, is it?
No, it's
No.
not.
No,
It's
it's not.
I honestly, we still have no idea what it really is.
We have a vague idea of what it is.
Well, I don't know how that story will be told. Basically, is it going to be a TV show? Is it
Do
gonna
we
be
have a
web
vague idea of what it
series?
is? What is it, Eljay? Please explain.
It's focusing on like an 11-year-old gal in a world that is overrun with pollution, and she has to survive.
Okay.
But
Vague
what
idea
is
of
that?
it is.
That sounds very original.
I mean, that's a
Wall-E?
neat premise, I guess. But what is it? Like,
Yeah.
is it a show?
at that-
is
that
it
point,
a
like,
comic?
I have no idea. Like,
Oh,
all,
okay,
all
well,
we've
that's-
seen is
At this point, to be
copious
honest, I'm
amounts of
thinking it's a
concept art.
pitch.
It's a
As far
sequel to
listen,
Wall-E.
as far as I know, it's just artwork. It's just themed artwork at this point.
yeah.
It's
And
something
also,
he
Cryo
wants
Shell's
to
making
do.
an album for
He
it.
said in the past he wants to make it big. He wants to make it like Bionicle. Like
At this
really
point,
big.
I figure
know-
it's still in pitch stage, where he's developing something to then try
I
to
think
pitch
so.
to people
It's
to get
always-
like deals.
It's always hard when your thing has like such a big moral behind it. When you're trying to push a message alongside just telling this story, it might be one of the. I know he wants to make it big. I might be one of those things that just kind of peters out because networks will see it and they'll be like, "Well, that's great," but it seems like it's like you're trying
Yeah.
to push this movement as opposed to just making some cool TV
Telling
show
a
for kids to
story.
watch at Saturday mornings. Yeah, I don't know. He's a good conceptual guy. So
I would love to
Pollution
have an
is
interview with him
bad.
at some point. So.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Honestly, that's pretty much all. I just wanted to make you all aware that that was a thing, and if you're looking for one more dose of good old-fashioned Bionicle G1 nostalgia, go give it a watch. I'll link it in the description below. It's only like 5 minutes long. And there's a couple cool
Yeah, G1, the better Bionicle.
Oh,
Yeah. You're not wrong, but
Listen, there's no argument now. There was plenty of potential for G2 to be the better
Story-wise,
Bionicle.
yes. Set-wise,
Yeah,
Nah,
fair enough.
I don't
Sets
know.
were
I
better.
think I would say set wise.
I
too.
wouldn't.
Really?
It depends.
No,
it
Do
really
you think
depends
the
on the
skull
size.
I mean,
villains
like-
and the beasts are better than?
listen.
No, but I think the Masters and the Uniters are way better than anything G1 ever did.
I mean, even if the skull
Umarak
like
the Hunter.
The
Yeah,
Skull
Umarak
villains
is great.
remembered that they still had articulation and gear functions, and that they both worked really well. That's something that
Right.
G1 never
I
had.
could agree if we're saying they're the superior Toa, but I mean,
Like
I'm,
sets
like-
as
I'm
a
like
whole.
think,
Let's
I'm
not
thinking
pretend
about
that
the
G1 didn't have
Titans,
terrible
I'm
sets,
thinking
too.
about. Well, yeah, I know that, but
Right.
I'm just saying I think G1 has had the overwhelming amount of good sets.
That's because it lasted
certainly had better
for
time.
double the time.
Yeah, but it's still
Double?
Still a
I mean, yeah,
legit
whatever. Well,
statement.
it's like you've got a larger pool of good sets to pick from, but I would say a large part of G2 sets were very well done.
I will say, here's what I'll say about
Ratio-wise-
G2. On the smaller side of things, G2 on average had better sets. They combined articulation, gear functions, and a mastery of their craft. The protectors were better than any Matoran. The Toa were better than any Toa. The villains, maybe not were better than most villains, but they certainly had more going on than a lot of villains did.
Right.
The
Except for Skull
Titans-
Scorpio.
the
Screw that guy.
Yeah, Skull Scorpios. The Titans were where Bionicle G1 has a
Oh,
lot. Titans and
Britaka is
vehicles.
still the best set
Because
ever.
out of Bionicle G2, there were like
Yeah,
one
that's
and a
what I'm
half
saying,
good
like-
Titans.
I really
I mean-
liked the Titans for Bionicle G1. I feel like those are like the
Yeah.
selling point for me when it comes to
Easily,
like
the Titans are where
were the best
it was
part.
G1.
Like,
And they're where the legacy
Right.
is felt, because that's when people think good G1 sets. They're like either the big vehicles or the big Titans.
well,
But
yeah.
I would say, like,
that's
if
what
you
I
count
feel
the
like
ratio,
Bionicle G1 has over G2 in terms of like
Yeah.
set
If-
like
Nobody's gonna say from
Superiority.
G1 like Jollar Inika is one of my favorite sets. Inika, whatever. But I will say Tahu Uniter
Wow.
is one of my favorite
Yeah.
sets.
Well,
No,
okay,
yeah,
I
most
mean,
definitely,
you
'cause
say
the-
that, but there's a difference between favorite set and this is objectively better than this.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like
Even as a
Liwa
favorite
Mata,
set's pretty bad.
Liwa Mata is my favorite set, but he's not better than Liwa Master or Uniter.
yeah.
Or even Leo Fantoka.
Yeah, exactly.
He had
Liwa
Bionicle
Mata
Slipknot.
is not a good set
perfected
at
the
all.
Toa
Yeah,
thing.
he is horrible.
Yeah,
He
like
is-
I
oh.
personally prefer a good majority of the G2 sets too, especially Tahu Uniter. He's probably my most favorite set
Oh,
out
yeah.
of Bionicle in general. But I don't think I can say that G2 is objectively better than G1.
I think-
in terms of
LJ.
sets.
I
I think I need
I
to
think-
look into this.
If you do a
Give me a
ratio,
pins and
all right,
axles.
Yeah,
do
all
it.
right,
Okay,
I'll
do a
make video.
ratio from like the amount of good sets that each year had to the amount of years that it ran.
That'd-
so like
that'd
how
be an
many
interesting
good
turnout.
sets that?
So
yeah, how
if,
many good
if we're
sets?
gonna compare,
That's what I was
like,
thinking.
if we're gonna like evenly playing field compare things,
Prorate.
say what?
Yeah.
Prorate, basically.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead 2001 to 2002 to 2015, 2016, even amount of years.
We gotta have like a separate video
We could-
for this.
G2
Well,
is
what we
still
could
knocks
do.
it
Here's
out
what we
of
could
the
do. We could rank them all the sets from 1 to 10. All right, and then add up the numbers and then compare the ratio
Well,
from.
no, I mean, all you
It's
really do
still
need to
be
do.
just like a
Let's
Let's
preference.
make
really
this a
easy to
crazy
figure out.
mathematical thing. Let's
It's-
do it.
it's-
This is such an
you might have to
objective
take
thing,
average.
too.
Yeah.
You don't need to figure that out. It's super easy to do. If you compare Gen 2 to the first 2 years of Gen 1, Gen 2 wins. It's simple as that.
Yeah,
Are you
but no, that's
sure
not. That's
the
technically
Rahi
not
in
fair.
Gen 1.
It's not fair.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's-
it's not fair because G2 was built on the experience that LEGO had throughout G1. So comparing the first 2 years of G1 to the years
Right.
G2,
I mean, it's not fair, but like it's also kind of reality then, right? The G2 sets are objectively better than the
There's-
G1 sets, regardless of how you feel about them.
no, I'm with you guys. I just say that that's not a great
I mean,
ratio.
Hashtag
listen,
Rahi.
it's
There's
also
no-
not fair because Gen 1, the first 2 years of Gen 1 have more sets than the first 2 years of Gen 2. But
It's also not fair because Gen 1 has more types of sets. Gen 1 has kinds of sets that don't even begin to exist in G2. Like,
Yeah.
there's
the
no
thing is, if you
comparison
start
for
to
Rahi.
dissect it,
You can't compare, like, Manas to anything from G2. It's so unique.
Skull Scorpio.
I mean, you can you can definitely compare them all. Well, okay, fair. Manas, there isn't really representation, but you can compare a lot of them fairly simply. And
No
G2
taxation
wins.
without representation.
Thanks.
You know, Slicers have some
Okay.
really
Shout
good
out, Mark.
sets. I think objectively
Slicers?
speaking,
Slicers.
they had Slicers.
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 Millennium will forever go down as one of my favorites.
All the sets were bad. So, no, I mean good. It's the opposite of bad. So they were the best. They were the best, and they had like 100%.
I love sliders just because when I look at a slider, I'm like, I can just see where Bionicle the seeds were planted. It's just fascinating to me to see like the prototype form of what became the Bionicle we know and
those
love.
joints, those are the ones that they're gonna produce, and they're gonna break so hard.
Years
it's gonna
later.
be amazing.
It'll
take 8 years later.
Yeah,
8 years
and then they'll
later.
fail, and they'll fail again, and then they'll like.
You know what else is fragile and breaks a lot?
My
You
heart.
see cinematic universe.
Dang.
Man, I wasn't even.
Wow.
I like Trooper's answer more.
I thought we could have talked about that more a bit. But
Yeah,
sure,
I
let's-
was really
alright.
getting into that discussion too.
Well, separate video.
Yeah.
Wow, way
Wow.
to shut at that man.
Until it
you
gets
are-
canceled.
I feel like we could
My
spend
heart's
hours
canceled?
talking about that. So,
Yeah.
oh my
We'll
God.
save it. We'll save it for a
That's the
special
story.
episode of Brickfeed.
Well, now I gotta
There's no news.
brick feed. Ha! Screw you. Dibs on a Pins and Axles episode.
Nah, get out of here,
You
man.
are the only person in the Pins and Axles episode.
Exactly.
The rest of us have
That way
opinions.
I get to talk about it as much as I want.
No
Let's all
taxation without representation. Come on.
No one wants
No video creation without representation. Alright. So, back I'd say 3 weeks ago now, we went to a little thing called Brick Fair, Virginia. And it was great.
Gosh, are they still
Whoa,
talking
a
about
little
that?
thing?
Oh,
A little thing. Brick Fair, Virginia. It was pretty great. And X, I just realized you haven't been on a podcast with us since. Next year you should
Hey.
come. We had a fun time.
I'll come
But,
next year.
Anyway, while we were there, we had the pleasure question mark of seeing our first movie ever as a group. Suicide Squad.
Really, that was Ash versus the Evil Dead. That's
Well,
the first
yeah,
movie
yes.
we watched as a group.
First was
the
Evil
first movie
Dead
we watched
2,
in
which
theaters.
was also a special experience. But
wait, did we watch Evil Dead before we saw Suicide Squad?
No, we didn't.
We did.
Yeah,
we did.
Well,
I
what day
remember.
did we watch? I mean, we know when we watched
got
Suicide
there-
Squad.
Yeah, we got there like did we watch it Wednesday or Thursday night? I'm pretty sure
it was
we did.
Thursday night.
Isn't
yeah.
Evil Dead like spooky?
Not really.
I wouldn't
I mean,
say
it's
spooky.
It's like
How about you
ridiculous.
just go see it for
something.
yourself?
Yeah, X.
But is it too spooky or like more like
It's
three
not-
spooky?
like
It's
The
it's
skull
it's,
villains might
it
be
depends on the
spooky. Do you
type
not
of
like horror
person that
movies?
you are.
I've watched like 0 horror movies.
Okay, start with Evil Dead. That'll be a good start for you.
I
That's
watched
all I'm gonna say.
I watched some of Stranger Things. That's everything I watched ever. Close to
Wow.
horror.
How did that?
Very nice.
How much did that scare you?
It was super spooky.
Well,
You are a
X, I would
baby.
like to see a horror movie review done by you. I'd like to see a live reaction to Evil Dead.
5 out of 6.
There's gonna be a lot of screaming, and that's where
I'm
like
sure there will.
being as the girl part comes back in. You know, because
Very nice.
yeah.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, of course.
Uh-huh.
The two components of girls: long hair
long
and
hair
screaming.
and screaming.
Yeah.
That
Terrible.
Man, the girls,
In
the
regards
girls,
to
they are
horror
gonna kill us
movies-
after
not
this
quote
episode.
me on that.
In regards
It's a
to horror
terrible
movies,
quote
it is
to
pretty
have.
much true.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so anyway,
Yeah,
yeah,
either way, we watched
No.
Suicide Squad,
What
and it was
what do
special.
girls do? What do girls in
D-
horror
DC
movies do?
everyone-
Let's
besides-
not
Come on.
do this.
come on, Suicide
What? It's
Squad.
like
Okay,
it's
you know
like a
what? You
horror
know what
movie
is crazy?
stereotype. Every
You know
horror
what's
Actually, you know
crazy?
what?
almost
I
every
want Ben
horror
to dig his
movie-
own grave. Well, what are you saying
Maybe,
here,
maybe
Ben?
he'll dig one deeper than I have.
Almost every horror movie, that's all a girl does is scream and do pretty much nothing while her friends get killed, and then if she eventually gets killed, let's see,
Because of her long hair.
Wow, dude.
I mean,
Man.
am I wrong?
I mean,
Not particularly.
I mean, I don't think anyone was talking about horror movies.
I think
I
aliens-
was. So I mean, I don't know where
There are
you got
a
this
bunch
whole.
of
Can't say I
stereotypes.
all right, let's
Um,
get into beating this dead horse.
I'm glad that you were. I'm glad that you were having your own conversation while not following the actual
I was
conversation
following
at
the
hand.
actual conversation. We were talking about horror
That's
movies.
you were not following the actual conversation.
No, just because I start. Okay, whatever.
We just skimmed
Shut up.
over it.
You suck, Finn. You're a terrible person.
I was just
and you
bouncing
should
off
feel
of
bad.
whatever
I like
X was.
you, Ben.
I was bouncing off of whatever X was talking about, but clearly you guys weren't listening. So hey,
So, Meso, what did we do in at Brick Fair? What movie did we go see as a group?
Oh, gee, it's
Suicide
such a big
Squad.
secret.
We watched Suicide Squad, and we watched it in a
secret's
nice
out.
theater. It was a semi-fancy theater with
How could you do that,
reclining
Meso?
seats, and it was great fun. But
Did you
I
guys
think
get
we're overdue.
nachos?
No.
Well,
I
then
didn't.
it wasn't
That's-
semi-fancy then. Just stop lying.
Wow. Basically, we were talking about the idea, like, should we do Suicide Squad? Should we review it in, like, TTV Talks or whatever? And we were like, no, we're going to stick to our whole TTV Talks as a retired thing. So,
Is it?
let's talk about Suicide Squad. Yeah, it is, basically. Like, the
Or
podcast
TTV
is kind of going to be the umbrella thing for that.
74
We're
episodes.
talking about our lives.
So young.
So, as far as Suicide Squad goes, I'll give you a warning. We're going to be making it a couple spoilers here. Maybe.
Like all of them.
Probably. But the thing with Suicide Squad as a movie is there's not a lot to spoil because there's barely a plot. So I'll just, I'll warn you straight away, if you care in the least, tune out now until you've seen the movie.
It's really, the trailers were so much more accurate than I thought they were. Because up until this movie, we were like, man, this is really great. These trailers are so good. We have no idea what the plot is. And it turns out the directors also had no idea what the plot was. So, there you go.
The plot is as thin as the CGI is pretty.
Quite
Basically.
pretty.
Is the
I
CGI
mean-
that pretty though?
That's his point.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I like the CGI. That was the point of that. I thought it's really
I like
good
the CGI
CGI.
and stuff. There were some good effects in there. There were also some questionable ones. But on the
So-
whole, the CGI wasn't one of my problems with the movie. My problems boil down to mainly just writing, to be honest. The writing
Yeah, what is the main
Okay,
problem
okay,
with this
what-
movie?
what's- what
Meso,
is- what
let's
is
get into this.
everything?
What is the main
All
problem?
right. So, the characters, one, there's no reason to have the Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad are there to do missions that superheroes will not do. That's their thing, right? What did the Suicide Squad do? They save a government official and they stop someone from ending the world. Both are things any superhero would do. That you don't need to get the
But
Suicide Squad
here's
and
the
inject
thing,
the little things
John,
and bombs in the heads and everything. You don't need to do that.
They still gotta assemble the team.
No, they don't have to assemble anything.
And it's the
we
most
know,
messiest
we know.
montage that has so many inconsistencies. And just,
We know Batman's around. We know Wonder Woman's around. We know the Flash is around, even though maybe he's not part of the Justice League yet. But surely you can just contact the Flash and be like, "Hey, just get this
Flash.
one person out of a building."
The Flash literally shows up in the movie, which I did not expect. He's there.
He does.
He captures one of the Suicide Squad members, who he did not need to because he should not have been in that movie.
No.
Okay, remember all the great stuff
I
Captain
have a
Boomerang
question.
did.
Yeah.
Literally nothing.
Oh, he threw that.
opened the monster
thing
can.
into the building.
yeah, a lot of the
Okay.
characters. It's why do they need these people? Why couldn't it be like any Black Ops team? Why did it have to be? Exactly?
Honestly, Slipknot would have been more suited to this operation than Captain Boomerang because Slipknot can climb
Yeah, he can
buildings.
climb walls. He could have climbed into the
Yeah.
building that
Slipknot.
Captain Boomerang threw that boomerang camera thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How did
Why
that
isn't
work?
the boomerang camera?
Yeah,
Why
right,
isn't it
like, I was
spinning?
wondering that too. It's like
Is-
the dude throws a boomerang with a camera attached to it, but when you see that they're looking at the camera feed, the camera's not spinning. It's a boomerang. Is it like,
And it's like a drone. It's like slowly hovering in a circle. You ever see a boomerang thrown? Those things are fast, and they also
I've
go in
never
a
seen that
circle.
before.
Nice,
Sure.
nice dead
All right.
silence you caused.
I don't know what. Have you actually not seen it? Are you being sarcastic?
Well,
What?
first of all, I've seen a boomerang being thrown, and second of all, I mean, he threw boomerangs, so...
No, I mean it's a very real possibility that you have never seen the boomerang thrown. So I don't-
I've never
okay.
seen a real
Anyhow,
life boomerang.
Never watched Avatar.
Yeah. Funny guy.
Sparky, boom, boom.
The main thing is just the plot is fundamentally broken. There's immediately no reason why these guys would be called on for this mission. And I've seen the argument thrown around, like you said, the Justice League isn't around, they're not active, but they actively portray Flash stopping a mid-level thug. I'd call him a Z-lister. To be honest.
Basically,
Criminal-
he does.
yeah,
He literally does
the-
nothing in this
he's
movie.
the bottom of the barrel threat level wise. They literally said he's just a thief. That's all he does. And Flash bothered to show up and stop him. So, and even if Batman can't really do much, Wonder Woman's around and kicking, just going through the world, picking up art pieces and stuff. It's very easy.
Going to art
imagine
galleries
her, yeah,
and
going
dances,
to art galleries, looking
going to
up stuff.
fancy dinners.
It's very easy to imagine her bothering to just at least participate and see
Right.
what's going on.
Because we do know at the end of the movie, for spoilers, but you already said that, Amanda Waller is in contact with Bruce Wayne. So, also, even if she isn't in contact, all you need to go is look on the news for 1 second to see that a city's getting destroyed and be
just
like,
to-
oh,
just to
One
clarify,
maybe someone should do something.
just to clarify, we're not saying that this should have been a Justice League movie. We're saying
No.
that the Suicide Squad. If this was gonna be an actual like Suicide Squad, like from the squad from the comics, the kind of things that they would do, then the whole premise should have been rearranged.
Yeah, that's what
the
I'm
writers
saying.
should have
Give
written
them
a different
villain
story.
that actually is appropriate.
Yeah.
Plot
Yeah,
doesn't
why-
fit with the
Enchantress,
characters.
really? What
Why
were we saying?
Enchantress?
Oh, go ahead, Bar.
No. I just said why Enchantress. You can keep going.
Oh,
Can I
yeah.
just say one thing before we move on, though? Is that I feel really sorry because there's one or two people in this entire world that's like the biggest fan of Slipknot, and then he just really excited.
Yeah,
Well,
I like
wait,
that.
wait a
Listen,
minute.
there-
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Really.
Wait a minute. You had a great point there, but you unfortunately undermined it by your pronunciation of the word Slipknot.
Slipknot.
Slip cannot be in
It's
this
Slip-
movie.
It's Slipknot.
That's what
alright?
Slip cannot.
It's
Slip
Slipknot.
cannot survive.
How'd you get over to Norway?
Sorry that my language is... yeah, but let's
Anyway,
move
yeah.
on.
What were you saying, Ben?
Oh yeah. What was the hypothetical premise that we came up with where the Joker?
Okay, here's my
Kahi's
premise.
been working on this a lot.
I've been
It's
working
this
on the premise.
alternative thing.
Here's my alternative thing. Okay? The Suicide Squad is put together to hunt down Batman, because if you remember right, he stole something from the government in Batman v Superman, which was the kryptonite. And the whole thing in this movie is, what if Superman came down, ripped off the roof of the White House, stole the president? And there's one weapon against Superman that we know works, and suddenly it's gone? What? Question mark? Batman has it. Everything in the movie makes sense if Batman is the main antagonist. They're hunting Batman. The Joker's presence makes sense. Harley Quinn, what does Harley Quinn do? What's
Whatever
her
the
power?
Joker tells her?
Like literally, what is Harley Quinn's
Motive?
gifts, abilities,
Go pass
skills?
on head crazy?
Why? It's like I said before. It's like if Kanye West turned out to be a terrorist, and so Obama assembled a team of Navy SEALs, and also Kim Kardashian, because Kim Kardashian is the wife of Kanye West.
Slipknot
and
and the
therefore-
Navy Steals.
Slipknot.
Hey, that's your episode.
Episode 210.
That's for free. I'm here all night.
Did they get Neil McBeal, the Navy SEAL?
Harley Quinn makes sense in this one. Captain Boomerang makes sense because Batman uses boomerangs, uses the batarangs. So
Yep.
there may be counter, we'll counter him by using, Deadshot uses guns. Batman doesn't use guns. Everything else makes sense. Killer Croc, all of that makes
All the
sense.
people that have tangled with Batman before.
Right. And Batman also arrests Deadshot, so Deadshot has a reason to go after Batman. It's like it all lines up perfectly.
Yeah, but they already have a reason to go after Batman, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess the whole point is that, this makes sense as to why the Justice League is not called. It makes sense why the Suicide Squad is assembled. It makes sense. It also gives us an awesome scene with the Suicide Squad where they're in, some warehouse or whatever, and Batman's hunting them down, and we see it from their perspective as the villains. That Batman is going, we see how it appears to people, how terrifying Batman is. That would have been awesome. People would have come out that movie being like, the movie, writing, acting, sure, whatever. But man, that Batman scene,
that awesome scene.
that made up for it.
Yeah.
Because
I
the
don't
thing
know
with
if I like the idea of the government sanctioning this big team to take out Batman.
yeah,
I feel like it's a really, really weird, odd premise.
it is a very.
I think
odd
it's.
premise, but
Is
for
it
me,
better?
it's-
Okay, so I'm sorry. Is the witch that somehow appeared and because of the architect, and then Amanda Waller had the heart, and then she doesn't have the heart, and then the teleport, and then her brother, and then is that a better premise? Is that? Are you,
I mean, honestly, it makes more sense because they build up Batman in BVS to be an actual public threat rather than, I don't know. I guess whatever the Dark Knight had him as. Yeah,
I mean,
a protector.
Just
of the
because
night.
it makes more sense doesn't mean it's good.
all right,
I
what would
like
you do?
it for the sole reason that it gives everybody a reason to be a part of the team. Because with the Suicide Squad movie,
Yeah, but they
it's
don't
like,
need a reason. Their reason is that they're a Suicide Squad. If they try to leave, they die. That's
Okay,
the
so
reason
Not
for
what I
teaming
mean.
up.
I mean a reason to be a part of the team.
Right? Why does the
There's no
government
reason for
choose
Harley
these
Quinn
people?
to be a part
Yeah.
of the team. She doesn't
Oh,
have
right,
superpowers.
right.
She doesn't have a skill. In the Batman premise, her motive would be because she's had experience dealing with Batman. That's
Right.
what all of their reasons would be.
Yeah,
That's the main reason I
that's
chose it. Is
actually
because
Boomerang a
Harley
Batman
Quinn,
villain?
Yeah.
Harley Quinn has no reason to be in the Suicide Squad if Batman is not involved in some capacity, or the Joker isn't involved in some capacity.
Which he wasn't
The
in
Joker
either. He was
had
there by
no
a
place in the
complete
movie.
chance, coincidence.
Right.
My solution was to just make it exactly what everybody thought it was going to be to begin with, and just have the Joker be the villain. And the reason that they
Yeah,
have
I
a
thought
squad
that
of people
too.
try
Yeah, I
to kill
would've
the
been down-
Joker is
I
because
would've been down for
Batman
that too.
I thought
Batman
that was it
refuses
too.
to kill the Joker.
I'm down
And
with
that's
that.
why,
Which is
that's why the government has to intervene by setting up the Suicide Squad to get rid of the Joker, because the one hero that constantly takes him out, keeps basically letting him go.
I would have
cause
loved
more
that
havoc.
so much. That's
Letting him off easy.
Except the
Yeah.
main thing too is that, like, it doesn't make sense in the world of the DC cinematic universe because Batman kills everyone else except apparently the Joker.
Yeah.
Batman's like cool for like
Well, yeah.
killing swaths of people, but for like the guy who
I mean,
kills
but
the sidekick.
that's already canon though. He already apparently doesn't want to kill
Yeah.
the Joker despite killing a
yeah,
million
listen,
people.
Batman killed people? Who did he kill?
He killed 1 million people in the freaking
And
Batman
Batman
v
v
Superman
I-
thing.
Superman?
I didn't see it. How did he kill a
Well, at
million
one point-
people?
Me either.
He
Dude,
literally
he,
he literally throws
okay.
a box at someone. The guy's head bashes against the wall, and you see the blood spatter of his head as he slides down
There
the
was
wall.
also this
He is
one
dead.
scene in the extended cut, I don't believe it was in the real movie, where some dude like, stabs Batman, so he takes the knife out and like brutally
He
shanks
stabs him?
the guy against the wall.
Are we ignoring the one scene where there's the guy driving behind him? He destroys the car that the guy is
Like
in.
the car explodes.
It explodes. It's crushed. The guy inside it is definitely dead, and then he latches onto this car and continues driving, carrying the car with the dead bodies inside of it
yeah,
behind
the
him as
whole-
he's
the whole
smashing it into
Batmobile.
buildings.
The whole Batmobile
Wait,
scene is a
and
massacre.
he did these things to 1 million people.
Innocent people.
Not a million people.
Not 1 million people.
Here's-
Innocent
here's-
people.
All right,
He
I
was
was like,
just
get
doing
me
their job.
I like
A
all the
city or
things.
something. I was like, what did I miss?
X, you should watch
Oh.
BBS.
All
What
the
is
things
BBS?
can almost be excused though. Here's
my gosh.
the reason why the blood smear gets me is because that wasn't an actual thing. Someone went in post. Zack Snyder's like, oh yeah, make sure you add that blood smear in so it looks like Batman killed this guy. He literally did that.
Yeah.
The car exploding out, that's part of the action scene, sure. But Zack Snyder's like, oh, don't let this guy look like he's just knocked out against the wall. Literally edit a blood smear there so it looks like he's dead.
Considering
That's
the
how
things
much wrong
Zack Snyder
is
wanted
with that
to do
movie.
With Batman, it's probably the lesser of the
Yeah.
evils.
Zack Snyder needs to like not be a thing.
Speaking about long hair and screaming, Lex Luthor, am I right? Let's keep going.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying.
Lex Luthor's
I
a
think.
girl?
I think just making Joker the villain is already a simple plot. It already kind of involves the Harley Quinn Joker lover relationship that they keep trying to shoehorn in the movie that really had no place in the story that
Very
they
true.
had. And then it also adds an arc for Harley Quinn from being this abused girlfriend of Joker's to eventually helping to defeat the Joker at the end. Whether they
guess, like-
actually succeed or not, I don't think they should succeed.
For me, the reason why the premise doesn't end up working as well as I feel the Batman does is because the Joker, even though it is to stop the Joker needs to have something to get the government involved. Amanda Waller is doing all this stuff with the government in order to stop a national level threat. To them, Batman could be seen as a national level threat. The Joker stays confined to Gotham City.
What if Joker
Does
just kills
Batman
some
not?
high-profile person and he's just
No, I mean,
like,
no, the Batman is now going around and doing all this espionage stuff, getting all the World War III people. Because Amanda Waller is concerned about the metahumans, right? Batman is assembling the Justice League by going
Yeah,
around
but Batman's
and
assembling the
poaching all
Justice League in
metahumans.
secret, though.
Yeah,
The only
but
reason
the
Amanda
government's
Waller
also
knows
seeking
is
out the
because
metahumans in secret. So Amanda Waller knows that some of these metahumans are gone, and they're working with somebody, and they don't know who. And Batman could be possibly assembling all the metahumans to fight against the government, which is a very real threat.
Why the heck would she assume that, though? Oh, man. That fish
Why-
guy's not here. I guess Batman beat me to him.
Well, she's already aware. In the movie, they're already aware of Bruce Wayne doing everything. So they know for a fact that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and that Batman is going around, and he has the files at the end. He gives her the files of all the metahumans.
Right.
So she
Are they
knows.
aware of that before that, though? Are they actually
Yes.
aware of that?
That's why they meet up in the diner.
no,
she's-
right.
that-
They
she-
meet up
no,
so Batman could
she-
give her that information.
Right. So
But does she have that information before? Because if so,
She-
why did they meet up in the diner?
no, she knows that Batman is seeking out people. That's what she needs to know. Amanda Waller does not actively know every metahuman out there. She just knows that someone is out there gathering information on them. Which is why she wants to broach this
Yeah,
conversation with Batman.
someone, though. Someone
Right.
does not equal Batman / Bruce Wayne.
In
know,
So the question is, in what scenario does it make more sense, or where Batman is suddenly this like global or national crisis and the Joker is not? They're both confined to Gotham as far
they're
as the
not
government
both
is aware.
confined to Gotham.
No. We know Batman isn't. The government doesn't. You're
Amanda
saying
Waller does.
they all know that Bruce Wayne is going out recruiting Avengers, but we don't know that. How do we know that they know that? That is a leap in logic.
No, it's okay. I don't. You're trying to say that we don't. Here's how you do it. You write down that they know it in the script.
What?
That's the premise of the movie. We're redesigning the premise of the movie. Okay, listen. You're
Okay,
like,
now
how
I'm
do we
actually
know that they
lost.
know? No, I guess like you're trying to tell like this is a real scenario. All you have to. Amanda Waller already knows all the stuff about Batman, so you write that into the script.
Batman.
Sure. All right. Take away from my point just to joke it out. Sure. Go for it.
I'm still listening to the point. Continue.
Okay.
Are you finished with the point?
I'm finished with the point now. Yeah.
What was your point?
Okay, but maybe I wasn't listening because I don't know what the point was.
The point is the plot. The point is the premise of the movie explains why they know it's Batman. I don't understand why that's the thing that you're not getting. You're saying Amanda Waller doesn't know that. That's
No.
Why can't you know that?
No. The assumption here is that the reason that you're saying Batman would make a better villain of the movie than the Joker is because the government knows that Batman is a national crisis because he's recruiting the Justice League, right?
Right.
But they don't actually know that. That's a story that you came up with specifically for the movie to make
yes,
that work.
that's called making a premise for a movie.
No. I understand that. But why can't you just do something like that for the Joker then? You
All right,
made it up. It's not something that was already established.
Because the reason why is because we know Batman's going to assemble the Justice League in the future movie. This ties the movie together in the cinematic universe. Okay, what is the Joker doing now? That
I don't know. Let's come up with something.
Well, I mean, I'm saying that this isn't. It will fit in with the universe going forward. That Batman's assembling everybody, and at the end, he does the Justice League. It fits in with the universe. As opposed to the Joker, we could make up something for the Joker, but it doesn't.
So
fit
the government
in.
is against the Justice League then?
As of right now, yeah.
As of right now.
Yes, in this
Why?
alternate script that I'm writing.
Why would they be against the government or against the Justice League?
The same reason we're against Superman. Because Superman could do something that would endanger the president. All these people are powers that they're not aware of and that could do something that could hurt national security. That's why the whole premise of this movie and the theory is like, what if Superman came down, ripped off the roof of the White House, took the president?
So their solution is to kill Batman.
Well, the solution is to gain the kryptonite.
By killing Batman.
Sure. Hunting down Batman.
Sure.
I don't know,
So
man.
wait,
But
tracking
Batman's
down.
a good
They're
guy.
trying to
Okay,
track.
alright, no,
no,
alright. So
I think I get you. Tracking down
Yeah.
Batman to ultimately get the kryptonite. That's
Here's my
right.
question: why do they want the kryptonite? Superman's
'Cause
dead.
it's cool.
Yeah, I
it's
guess
pretty.
that would be my question
Yeah.
too.
Why
Like,
do they
what
want
would
the
be
kryptonite? He is dead.
just in case another one comes out of nowhere?
I mean, that's the premise, right? They don't know everything that they knew about kryptonite.
But why wouldn't they try to get Batman to side with them? Why are they killing him?
Because he
Batman
killed
killing
people. Batman's killing people.
Batman just killed that guy. Well,
Man.
enough about the Kahi Suicide Squad. Actual Suicide Squad.
All right.
Can we talk
fine.
about how the entire reason why the Suicide Squad was formed doesn't make any sense?
Can we? Listen, I'm just saying.
What was the reason?
discussing? All right, they're discussing this premise. Var, what's your premise for the Joker? Is he just there?
I mean,
just-
you thought about it more than me. So yeah, you're gonna put me on the spot. Obviously, I don't have all the details there.
Well, yeah,
sure,
I'm
but
just saying that you feel like you have a better solution. What's the better solution?
I don't
the-
seem
the
like I have a
plot
better
is
solution.
Suicide
I'm
Squad.
saying that your solution is dumb.
I'm saying that Suicide Squad's
I don't like
dumb.
this
It's a
episode.
dumb movie.
The whole thing is definitely
Too
dumb.
hostile
I
for
agree
my
with you.
taste.
It's a dumb movie. It's a dumb premise. There's no real way to make it work. The Suicide Squad should not be introduced right now in the
I'm
DC
sure
cinematic
I'm
universe.
sure there is a way to make it work. I just don't think the way that you present it is necessarily the best way to do it.
Okay, we'll come back next week. We'll present different. We'll present different things. What? Because no, listen. I think this is a way better premise than anything I've seen anyone else come
on,
up
guys. Let's be honest. There is a way better way to handle this movie. It's called Captain America: Civil War.
You know,
Guardians-
Wait,
Suicide
what?
Squad?
I don't get it. He's
What?
not in
Wait,
the
what?
same universe.
What?
Fudge. Wait, I'm thinking of Batman v Superman. That's a better way to handle that movie.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy. That's what I meant to
PG.
say.
That's a different universe.
You're mixing
LJ.
up your DC
No,
smack
no, no, no.
talk.
Okay, Guardians is different because Guardians
Are
is like
good guys ish.
the thing about the Guardians is that they're not assembled by anybody. They just come together by themselves. You don't need the extended backstory for anyone aside for Peter Quill. You get their back. Like, people are mercenaries. Cool. The Rocket and Groot, they're mercenaries. Drax is in prison. And Gamora works for Thanos. That's it. You don't need to go through like, oh, by the way, this is how everyone came to be. This guy was born and he lived in the sewers and everyone hates him. And also, this other guy killed his family because even though his wife doesn't have any burn marks, he burned her for some reason.
Hey, he
and
doesn't
then
do that anymore.
Yeah, man.
oh yeah. That's another guy. That guy's dead.
Oh yeah, by the way, he's got demon powers. Woo!
Oh yeah.
She's possessed by a witch.
This girl
So
also
here-
went on a
here's my
Indiana
thing about
Jones
that.
expedition. Lara Croft found a curse that turned her into witch. Come on.
Real quick, I had a thought about what's his name? Fiery dude.
El Diablo.
El Diablo.
What an original name. So,
Like
Whoa.
LJ. Am I right?
Like Leela Johnson.
but what was with that whole demon form thing? Because was that like was that
'Cause
hinted
was-
at when he killed his family? Did he like demon out in his house, and that's how it got all
Demon out.
burned down?
Isn't
No,
that
I
just
think
the
he just
source
did,
of
like,
his
a Nova
powers in
thing.
the comics? He's possessed by like a fire demon or something.
Listen, it makes no sense because they don't foreshadow that at all, and that's
Yeah,
never a thing in the
foreshadowing,
movie.
There we
and-
go. I was thinking, like, was that foreshadowed? Because
no,
man,
it really.
if the
came out of
only
nowhere.
other thing that made him so angry as to turn into a giant fiery demon was his family, he was a bad dude.
Oh, no, okay, let's also talk about this. Why is everyone a family suddenly? Whereas, like, oh,
I
we're
already
all
lost
family.
one family. I'm not gonna lose another one.
Like, you mean these guys that you literally hang out with
Another
one
one.
evening and had done nothing for you?
yeah.
They've literally, like, it's not like they've saved each other's skins. Now
Apparently,
they
once you
literally
have a
they
couple
fought
of
one
drinks
wave.
with a group of people, they suddenly become your family. So
He's a sensitive guy, all right.
Wow, I mean, I drank water with you guys. Does that count?
hey man, you're my brother.
I don't feel comfortable.
We
anymore.
shared
Why
we
doesn't-
shared water bottles.
No, we
Why
didn't.
doesn't Deadshot shoot Harley Quinn?
LJ, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Harley Quinn's done nothing. Harley Quinn's betrayed everybody. Why does he shoot Harley Quinn? Aside from the
Why
fact
does
that
Joker
maybe he
keep-
doesn't shoot women. And...
Why does Joker keep coming back to save Harley Quinn despite leaving her to die after he crashed his stupid car into the freaking water?
Because they're in love.
Doesn't make sense.
Also, in the deleted scene, pushing her out of the plane or
Yep.
out of the helicopter
That was
as well.
a thing.
Yeah, now listen, the Joker trying to kill her off, but not finding the strength to do it every time, that makes a bit more sense, but that's not properly conveyed in the movie.
Nope. They got into
Absolutely
that
not.
a lot in the movie novelization. There was a lot of the cut stuff which comes to the forefront in there. And yeah, it's all about the Joker.
Still
like,
makes the movie
having
bad,
this
though.
Crisis. Yeah, of
See,
course
they
it does.
try to, in the movie, they try to make it out as though they're actually in a healthy relationship where they both equally love each other.
Right.
Nope.
Which conflicts with the scenes they've actually filmed because they have the
Yep.
scene where he chucks her out of the helicopter, but they cut that up and sliced it up in the movie.
I absolutely hate it too. They changed it because test audiences didn't like that he was abusive. They did not like that the Joker has an abusive relationship with somebody. That's like no,
We
not
gotta
the
be
Joker.
like these
He can
people
kill all those
kinda
people,
role
sure,
models.
but like Harley Quinn, the female role model.
Oh my god.
Tough girls everywhere.
Hey,
jumping
she-
power.
She has super jumping power, guys.
Like, wow, what's that? Joker is an unlikable guy? Wow, it's
Exactly.
almost as if he's
I know.
some kind of villain.
It's almost as though they're all villains.
I didn't really
Like some kind of Suicide Squad.
I didn't really like the romance between Harley Quinn and Joker, but the other romance in the movie.
You and nobody else.
I really liked
Well,
the other
everybody
romance
else.
in the movie, though.
Which other one?
Captain
Between
Boomerang.
between Flag and Deadshot, it
Oh
was quite
God,
touching.
Captain
Captain
Boomerang.
Boomerang and the ponies.
Yeah.
Captain
You guys
Boomerang.
shot
At
about
the
it.
end, there it was like, "You got my letters," and it's just, "Oh, we're buddies now." Okay.
Okay, that was weird. Why?
Yeah,
you
Yeah,
let
Rick
the
Flag
other
just
characters
carrying all
around?
these letters in his jacket pocket for like.
Yo,
However
man,
long.
so got all these letters. What?
It's like,
Why?
so you mean that my 11-year-old daughter wrote me stuff and you just kept it with you?
You kept
this
it in your
entire
jacket?
literally like not with you, like you literally have it. You like read it before bedtime every night. Like what are you doing with these letters?
I don't know, man. It makes absolutely no sense.
That
Rick
being said,
Flag
okay,
as a
let's
character was
talk about something I really enjoyed because I watched the movie again partially last night. Something I did really enjoy. There was some really good acting from two actors in this movie.
Will Smith.
Wow.
From Will Smith and Margaret Robbie.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Really?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Was there really good acting out of Will Smith?
I
Or was it just
well,
Will
I mean,
Smith being Will Smith?
Will Smith
Yeah,
does
just
a
Will
really
Smith,
good
man.
Maybe
job
not.
at playing Will Smith.
Maybe, yeah.
Wow,
I
wow,
mean, like,
Smith.
I mean,
I
Yeah.
felt I enjoyed every scene Will Smith was almost every scene. Maybe not every scene.
See,
A
I'm
lot
not
of-
sure-
There were
most of
two
the
scenes
that
I
Will
didn't
Smith was
like
in.
with Will Smith, and everything else was pretty great. Number one was when his daughter was like, "Mommy says I can't stay with you anymore because you kill people," and he's like, "That's not,
That's
true.
not true.
She's lying.
Lie.
She's lying to you."
She
Like,
lying.
Also, why do we live in a world where we have Will, like the daughter of Deadshot, and also the kids from Stranger Things? Like, that's the opposite ends of the spectrum. That little girl was so bad.
Yeah.
There was a moment where we had to look each other in the eye at the theater. Where I was like, did that make the cut?
Yeah, like,
Did the
what
director
was
be like, okay, let's do that again? I know you're a child actor, you know, he needs a little. Let's
And
do
then the
that
other
again.
scene with Will Smith that was just awful was, "Lady, you're evil."
That being said, though, one of my favorite lines from the movie comes from Will Smith, where he's talking to Rick Flag about all the stuff he wants. Like, I want my daughter's education be paid for. I want her to be all the best schools. And he's like, I want to get Ivy League. And it's like, Ivy Leagues? Yeah. Also, if her grades start slipping, she's not making the cut, I want you to white people that. You all know what you do. I was like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
it was. I don't know.
Everything else.
I can't decide if I liked Will Smith because he was actually a good actor in that movie, or if they just put enough focus on him that it was kind of hard not to like him because there was no one else to like.
True enough.
I mean, no. The reason I say that is because I'm thinking about all the other characters, and I don't think I would have liked them any more as actors had they been in the movie more. Captain Boomerang, I don't think I would have. El Diablo, same. Slipknot,
All right.
definitely not.
Come on, guys.
Killer Croc, no.
We're all forgetting
but
about the...
John, he's beautiful.
Beautiful.
You know, I think Will Smith did a better job at playing Deadshot than the Deadshot in the first Daredevil movie. That was
Oh my gosh.
Well,
I'll
I mean, we
just
can't
say
exactly
that.
argue with that.
GG.
So, I can't believe it.
Bullseye.
We have gone this entire conversation without mentioning the most pivotal, fleshed out character of the entire film. Katana.
Okay.
Oh,
they
yeah.
literally gave her introduction into the film away in a trailer. The entire scene. It was just in a clip that they released on TV.
She's now on our helicopter. That's it.
Thanks, Master Chef.
Her sword
Cortana?
traps the souls of the keeper she kills. Her husband's trapped in
I
there.
swear, she was. I kind of got annoyed by her because she's sitting there the entire time. She transitions between, I'm presuming, Japanese and English, and for no apparent reason. And she's talking to the sword the entire time as though it's a person. But because we don't know her, we don't care. We're just bothered by the fact she's talking to her sword and like crying.
Why is she in this movie?
I
Who
feel
is
like,
she?
okay, I feel like she's like, maybe in her mind, she's like Japanese Master Chief. And she has Cortana and her sword, and she's like going around killing all these people and talking to Cortana, which is her dead
And then
husband, I assume.
then the dead husband turns evil and then like starts corrupting a whole bunch of other dead people.
No, spoilers for
Spoilers.
Halo 5.
That came out like half a year ago.
Yeah,
It's
fair
okay.
game.
It's okay.
It's almost been
Katana
a
was
whole
weird.
year.
Enchantress was really weird. Not because I have an issue with like the concept of her as a villain, but just because like her being
I do.
as a villain, she's fine. Not as a villain for the Suicide Squad, but like as a villain herself, she's okay. I don't have a problem. But her being a part of the squad initially just ruins everything. Because here's what happened: Amanda Waller was like, "I want to build Task Force X." They were like, "Why would we ever allow these people onto the streets?" She was like, "Dr. June Moon, come up here." So this person's a witch. She can do crazy stuff. I'm gonna control her by stabbing her heart right here. I have it. See, look, Senate members, whoever you are, look at this heart. I'm gonna
Senate
stab
members.
it. And they were like, okay, you can do it. Build Task Force X. 5 minutes later, Enchantress, literally, everyone's asleep, and she just kind of walks out, and she like...
Literally, she just walks out. What
So the
happened
solution to this is Task Force X. Of course. That's
Of
gonna
course.
work. It makes no
the
sense.
whole
It
reason
worked
she's
the
free
first
at
time,
all.
maybe it'll work
It's
the
like-
second time too.
Why didn't
Imagine-
Enchantress like save her brother like a long time ago?
Okay, the brother thing is stupid.
Where did that come from? Yeah, that was weird.
That was dumb.
Yeah. That's my biggest problem with the movie.
That is pretty weird because she's pitching this idea. He's like, okay, don't worry. I'm pitching this idea. I have this super weapon, the most powerful member on this team. I have her under control. It will work. And then the powerful member goes out and he's like, well, I have these other guys.
They can do it.
Give me, I know.
This one's crazy.
You better
throw
to
a boomerang,
stop
I guess.
I literally this crazy
failed
person
the
with a
entire project.
baseball bat, this guy with guns, and a crocodile.
This guy throws boomerangs.
Yeah, the boomerang guy, he can stop the witch. But, like, then again, this is a thought I had, and just now. They weren't assigned to necessarily stop Enchantress.
They're just assigned to
just
get Waller.
To get Waller out, yeah.
Yeah.
Waller
It's
was
not that
cool.
bad.
Was cool though.
Well, the thing is that they build up like some huge revelation in the movie. Like the guy, like Rick Flag comes up to Amanda Waller at the beginning. He's like, "Why are you assembling all these people? Just give me a team of top tier soldiers, and I can make anything happen." And he's like, "I need them from on a strict need to know basis." And you think, okay, Amanda Waller's doing something sketchy. No, she's not.
Yeah.
There's nothing going on there. She's just.
It was very
there.
unfulfilling. The whole thing, it was just like the trailers built up this funny, but also like occasionally dark movie with like bright, vibrant colors and funny quips and a lot of cool action. But like honestly, half the movie was just walking through dingy, gray city streets, having action that was all given away in the trailers, making stilted one-liners from characters you don't
playing
like.
zombie mode from Call of Duty, basically.
Well, zombie
Yeah,
mode with
really.
lots of guns, a lot of shooting happened in the movie, and a nonsensical plot. So honestly, like, what's really left here? Were there any good moments? Any good standouts?
I know one thing that did stand out to me, and even though it was a very, very small thing, well, several small things, were any time that Batman was actually on screen.
Yeah, Batman's great.
Yeah, I liked Batman's presence in this movie.
If only
Like
he
every
was on
time
screen
he was
a little
on screen,
more.
he acted like Batman.
Maybe as an antagonist.
It's like the
See,
first
I don't
Batman
know,
movie
man.
in years where he hasn't killed anybody.
I really like the idea of Batman being this omnipresent force you can't ever really expect. It's like they're kind of living out their lives, doing their own things, maybe doing some crime every now and then, and suddenly Batman is there to screw it up.
I do feel like even if the premise is a Batman antagonist is taken out, the premise of having a Batman scene in this movie was
Keeping more Batman.
Just
I think it's still
literally
fine.
having a thing with Batman versus the Suicide Squad, even if he's just in there just because he's stopping him from doing something. That should have been in the movie.
Yeah. No,
That
I agree
really
there.
should have been.
Definitely. Batfleck does a good job again. I've been giving it a lot of thought. We recently rewatched The Dark Knight, and I got to see Heath Ledger's Joker performance again to contrast to Jared Leto's. Obviously, Heath Ledger is on a whole other level, but Jared Leto has some potential, I think, in a solo Batman movie.
I'm
So
sure-
just
you know-
tone
like
down on
this
some
Joker at
aspects
all.
of him and bring it back. Like the way he talks in a lot of the scenes is
whoa
almost
now,
identical.
All
Heath
that
Ledger.
sweet talk's gonna get you hurt.
Yeah, the line delivery is similar enough. It's just his mannerisms that are a little weird and off-putting.
Well, no, I think
He's
the
more
mannerisms work.
touchy.
Yeah, the mannerisms work. I think the lines he had, the situations he had, they didn't work.
Yeah, he
feel-
wasn't written well from what we saw.
I want to see. I want to see the Batfleck movie. In fact, I would be content if they said we're not doing any more DC DC Cinematic Universe movies. We're just doing the Batfleck movie and we're out.
Yeah.
I would be content with that. That's all I want to see. I kind of want them to just reboot everything because I'm done with this universe.
Another reboot, really?
Come
I mean-
on. Like, what we have right now is so bad, though.
It's really bad.
There's
I
not a
can't-
lot to work with. Because, the Joker is one thing. Like, everyone, you either like him or you don't. I don't think the fact that the Joker was bad or unlikable in this movie was Leto's fault. It was all
Yeah.
the writing. And it's just...
And the editing too.
yeah.
And
The editing, the writing, and the fact that he has such little material that's actually good to work with is just kind of just a mainstay with this franchise now.
Why
There's
is
nothing
Goyer
to
still on
work
scripts?
with.
Goyer is, everyone blames Zack Snyder with good reason, but Goyer does have some blame too. He's written all these scripts, all these movies. They're all bad.
All these
we
people
all complain
can't
about their
seem,
bad
all
writing.
these DC people can't seem to make a movie without having to cut like half of it. How about you make movies you could actually put in the theater and not have to do extended
Someone's
cut
like-
DVD
Yeah.
releases?
Yeah,
the
that
official
was my
name is the
biggest
DC
complaint about-
Extended Universe.
That's my biggest complaint about the DC Extended Universe, is that it doesn't seem like DC is doing what they want to do. They're just putting together like A-list people or whatever, and letting them do whatever the heck, and then letting all these outside influences intervene with their movies.
They don't seem to know how to properly make a movie that can actually be consumed by a large audience. They're like, we'll make our movie. Oh, the studios are interfering with my artistic, creative vision.
Or
Time
like
to
the
cut
studio
off half
wants
an hour,
this,
then
the
we
studio
can
wants
sell
to
it in a DVD.
build up
a
this
year
Justice
later.
League movie. They want to make this kind of movie to compete with Marvel or whatever. They want to make a Suicide Squad because Marvel had their Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Meanwhile, Marvel's laughing all the way to the bank, coasting on everything possible.
Because they're
They're selling characters that nobody
make good
ever
movies.
heard
They
of
take-
before.
The thing is that like Marvel took the time and they also were okay with their initial films not making as much money. DC wants every one of their superhero movies to break $1 billion. And they sort of cram everything into it, and then they're surprised when nothing measures up. Well, guess what? Captain America made what? I don't know, like really low. The first Avengers, like 300,000,
and that was not even that great of a movie either.
Yeah, like all the movies that introduced the characters weren't that. They weren't bad. They just weren't that great of movies. But then it built to the Avengers. It built to Age of Ultron. Built to Civil War. Built to everything that you have going on right now. Suicide Squad should not have been made now. Suicide Squad should have been made way after Justice League. After
Batman
all
v
the
Superman shouldn't have been made now.
Yeah,
Batman
none of these things. Should've
Superman
been
should
made now.
never have died in his second
there was
movie.
no reason
He
What is
literally
going
never
on
got
there?
the chance to
These
even
movies.
be Superman.
Yeah, that too.
Superman died?
Yeah, he died.
Superman
Batman v
lives.
Superman.
He's gone?
He's gone.
I mean, they're gonna revive him because they're stupid, but yes, he did die in Batman v Superman.
Well, with what? Like defibrillators?
He got stabbed by Doomsday.
Yeah.
He
Doomsday's
got
in that
stabbed
movie?
in the heart
Wow.
by a spear. Yes, Doomsday.
Yeah.
Next.
No,
we should
I'm
watch
with you
BBS
guys.
sometime. Let's do it.
We already did. We literally watched the Ultimate Edition, the Ultimate
my
Cut.
God.
I
with
don't
X.
want to watch that again.
I don't want to watch it again. It's so boring. It's so it's like
I mean, the whole thing. It's the same problem that Sony had too with Spider-Man. Is they've forgotten what it takes to actually make just a decent movie. Like I kind of miss the days before the Marvel Cinematic Universe when we were able to get a Spider-Man trilogy where it wasn't so much about making these franchises as much as it was just making a good movie, and if it did well, give it a sequel. But make sure that sequel is also a good standalone movie. We don't need everything to tie into each other.
right.
That's
it's
really
because,
good.
it's because Kevin Feige knows how to build a universe, and Marvel is okay with doing films that don't measure up initially, so that they can measure up later on. They're all about the long game. They know how to tell a decent story while also building up everything.
Yeah,
nobody at
Marvel's
Warner
definitely
Brothers,
guilty
nobody
of
at
this
Sony
sort of thing
how to do
too,
it.
Where it's like, oh, well, gotta raise the stakes for competition because Civil War was never like even talked about until they announced BVS. Apparently,
No, I mean,
Kevin Feige
I
came
think
out
that's
and
a
said.
little-
Maybe.
Kevin Feige came out and said so himself that once they announced Batman v Superman way back when, that's when he was like, "All right, guys, let's get something ourselves."
I mean,
put it past.
that being said, right? I don't think. I think they were always building to Civil War. I think they just brought it back.
I feel like
they
Civil
made it
War
happen way
wasn't
sooner.
really an idea. Like maybe it was just kind of like a back of the like something to I don't know in the back of their heads. Like something that
Right.
that, like an option in case of anything.
It was always a story they
case of-
wanted to adapt.
Yeah, basically. Right, like something up their sleeves in case something like that. So they're like,
Right.
okay, well, BVS is happening. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to pull the Trump card. Not the
I mean,
not the
they,
Donald
at one
You
point they were
activated
going
my
for the same weekend.
Track card.
Captain America 3 and Batman vs Superman were at the same weekend, and one of them was going to have to move, and DC moved.
Yeah.
DC moved into March.
They were the
and
same day.
They were, yeah. It was like the same day it was going to come
I
out.
Still
and
want to
so, like,
see Captain
Did they get
America
blackmailed?
And
Serpent
upon
Society.
thinking about this, it also makes me realize how cool it is that they managed to make it work. Because it's not like they shoehorned Civil War. No, it was basically it was a premise that had already pretty much been built up to. That you know, like they had a foundation for it. It made sense. It was like a natural progression for the Captain America like story, I guess, with the whole Bucky thing, and they made it work. Now,
well, Marvel's had like what 14 movies at this point, and none of them have been bad. DC's only made 3; all of them have been bad.
You know,
They can't get a break.
and if you don't agree that they're bad, then there's no denying.
I'm happy
that,
for you.
There's no denying.
I wish I could enjoy it like you.
Yeah. It's like at least you can enjoy it, but it's like there's no denying that they're very divisive.
Excuse me. obviously those people that don't like the films, they just don't see the true depth and meaning behind them. Okay?
We need to apologize to Zack Snyder for our
think
harsh
about
treatment.
these things. Obviously, you Marvel fans.
No, I hate
thinking
Zack
about
just
it.
saying.
Zack Snyder needs to stop.
I'm done with Zack Snyder. I'm done with this universe. They've done some interesting concepts, but they've been executed horrifically.
Please,
And-
Wonder Woman, be good, please.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder wrote the script for that.
I don't know.
I know.
Given that movie's gonna be Wonder Woman, it's gonna be a lot of screaming and long hair.
Are you
Wow.
serious, Zack
Wow.
Snyder? What?
Oh,
Zack
long
Snyder.
hair,
Yeah,
dude?
we thought he was off, like hands off of that. Nah, I think he co-wrote the script. I believe. Let me
No.
fact check that. I saw an article.
A few
All
weeks
right,
ago,
well.
I was on the Shower Thoughts subreddit, and someone posted, "Every time I go to a Marvel film, I wonder if it'll be bad. Every time I go to a DC film, I wonder if it'll be good."
That's honestly very accurate. That's how
That
things
is the most
typically
accurate
go.
description of anything ever. But can I just... I know we gotta end, but can I say one positive thing that's really good about Suicide Squad was the
It ended?
soundtrack.
I actually
What soundtrack?
disagree with you. I disagree
What
with you.
soundtrack?
No,
It was
Yeah,
just
no.
a bunch of different songs they pulled
Literally-
off the internet.
Someone could have put their
In the
Spotify
sky.
playlist on during the movie, and it probably would have had the same amount of coherency as that
No,
soundtrack did.
if it was a Pandora playlist, at least it would have all been the same genre or like some kind of
Here's what
cohesion
I'll say,
between each
X,
song.
to be
All right,
fair,
I
the
enjoyed the
actual
soundtrack.
Suicide Squad soundtrack, the song soundtrack you can buy, I love like every song.
Okay,
on
yeah,
there.
that's
Songs
a
are
good, that's
great,
a good.
But the use of it in the movie, less
No.
than stellar.
I like the beginning.
Heathens is amazing. Gangsters actually kind of good. I hate the lyrics, but man,
Sucker for
that's a
Pain.
good sound. Sucker for
like-
Pain, Purple Lamborghini.
Yeah,
There
a lot
are
of
some
good stuff.
songs. Heathens is like heads
Bohemian
above the
Rhapsody.
best
I
song.
just like the
Yep.
opening.
That
All
little
right.
Panic at the Disco's, Bohemian Rhapsody. They had Without Me on that too, even though that wasn't the cover, but even still.
So the thing with
Fortunate
I
song.
think with Suicide Squad, to close, because we do have to end soon, I will say the movie had a lot of promise, didn't deliver on much of it. I initially kind of really liked it, and I still kind of like it, but I've realized as the weeks have gone on, what I like is the concept of it. I like the music, I like the trailers, I like the characters, I like the movie that it could have been. And I have enough attachment to that idea that I can watch the movie and not like hate it, but objectively it ain't great. There's probably like only one or two scenes that really stand out to me, like both of them the Joker flashbacks, the car one and the chemicals one were the only like legitimately good scenes in the movie to me.
That's my thing of DC as a whole. DC is a bunch of like concepts that are really good, and sometimes they're done really well. But the majority of the times, I feel like DC's worse than Marvel in comics, and I feel it carries into the films. There's concepts there. There's stuff that might be good, and they just don't do anything with it.
I've said it from the start, Batfleck movie, I'm holding out hope. I think Ben Affleck will care enough to redeem himself in the eyes of the people to give his A game.
Justice League, I'm expecting to be bad. Wonder Woman, I am expecting to be bad.
Yeah.
We thought Suicide Squad was going to be the movie. We said it ourselves. Suicide Squad can't be bad.
But hey,
the trailers
guys,
was really good. All right.
at the very least, we get to look forward to Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
Doctor
that's
Strange.
great. But for now, unless anybody else has any closing comments,
No, well, okay, I have one. I am so looking forward to the comments of this episode, where we get to see the people going, "Man, I was really into that Bionicle discussion," and then they talked about the DC film franchise.
it's gonna happen. That
That's
discussion
gonna be
was just
funny.
too
No, no.
broad.
One closing comment, actually, about the Suicide Squad, which I totally forgot which was the one thing that bothered me a lot in the end, is that they explicitly told that the explosive was a C4, right? It was C4.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they threw that, and then someone shot the C4.
That's true. I didn't even think about that.
C4 is a plastic explosive that it will detonate only through chemical reaction. You can shoot it, you can jump on it. It will not detonate.
That's why they use it.
It's impossible for that to happen!
Oh, man. I didn't even think about it.
It's DC4. It's like a mythical C4 kind of thing.
That's the first thing that comes up on Google. Like, no one did that research.
No one cares.
Damn.
whole thing is so stupid.
It's such
yeah,
a
so
bad
it's
script.
gonna blow up this mythical being is a bomb. Like,
Why don't you wait until everyone's solo movies and then do Suicide Squad? That's a great idea. Like, I bet you Marvel will do Thunderbolts after all the good villains are in everyone's movies, and they'll be like, "Oh, we'll do this right."
Yeah.
All right.
So that's pretty much all. Let us go ahead and end this episode of the TTV podcast. If you were one of those people who are upset that we were ending TTV Talks, well, here you go. Stuff like
If
this.
you're one of those people that are upset we're ending TTV Talks and bringing it here.
Get used to it. So, yeah, thank you all very much for watching. We'll see you all next week for some more exciting discussion of whatever the heck we feel like. Thank you very much for watching. Check us out on vessel.com/TTV channel and audibletrial.com/TTV. Get a free audiobook of your choosing. And, yeah, we'll see you all next week. I'm Meso.
I'm Barterin.
I'm Eljay.
I'm John.
I'm Ben.
I'm Takuma Nuva.
I'm XX Trooper.
And farewell, everybody. Bye.